All right, welcome back. Well, yeah, we're turning our attention now to another party politics, the People's Democratic Party. Well, it turns out that today, the NEC, which is the second highest making organ of the party, will be holding their meeting today. Well, you do remember that the zoning committee had made their report public, wherein they have recommended that all persons holding party positions in the south swap with persons holding swap it to the north, and so they zoned the chairmanship of the party to the north. So that is generating some reaction. So the party will be meeting today to see whether or not that will be accepted, even though some thought you were not supposed to have made that public. You were supposed to submit to the NEC, who will then take the next steps, whatever those next steps are. So we'll get reactions from the two gentlemen you've seen in that welcoming slide. First of which is Oladimeji Fabiyi, who is a member of the party. He was also in that Edo governorship screening committee. And then we'll also get to hear from Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, who is a member of the House of Representatives. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today. Let me start with you, Mr. Fabiyi.
I'm happy to be here.
So now that the zoning committee has come up with this position, there are many who just think simple decision for NEC to take. Adopt it, zone the party chairmanship to the north, and by implication, it means that the position of where the president comes on will just go to the south. What are your thoughts about this?
Should I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Chamberlain. Good morning, Nigerians. I'm happy to be here once again. Let me start by saying that this is another trying time for our party, and then I believe that the leaders we have elected to manage the affairs of the party would sit down and do and have a proper review of whatever actions we are going to take. You will agree with me that the zoning issue has generated lots of negative reactions since the release of it. You just said in your remark now that the process with which it was announced, was not proper at all, because NEC empowered the committee to carry out an assignment, and it is proper that the report or recommendation of that assignment be laid properly before the NEC. It will be discussed before making it public, a public document. We have seen that, we saw that in Governor Bala's fact-finding committee report that was laid before the NEC, and NEC discussed it, and a position was taken. So having said that, the history of zoning in PDP is very clear. In the history of PDP, we have had three zoning arrangements. From 1999, we had one that was to lapse in 2007, and that one threw up the southern president and then the northern chairman of the party. So again, expectedly was supposed to continue to run for 8 years like that. But unfortunately, in 2015, we had an overlapping problems where even the party and the government at that time had to adopt what we call doctrine of necessity to ensure that the party does not, run into trouble. And I think this should have been the same, process for this. For me, I'm thinking and I'm praying that the party leadership would sit and then review, because this has generated, like I said, lots of negative reaction, and it calls for review. There's nothing stopping an organization or a group of people when you have your rules. Even Boy Scouts have rules, but those rules must be subject to review over time. And this is exactly what we're saying. If we are honest with ourselves, and if we remember that PDP is not a ruling party, is in the opposition, and then APC will never hold any prisoner for us, and we must not allow their own action to determine our own decisions in our party. It's very, very critical. I hope today, like I said, the leadership of the party will sit down and be honest in their assessment and evaluation and take decisions that will not only help the PDP, but that will help the country. Because if PDP is in power, the effect of it will definitely resonate in what happens in the larger society. I feel pain, because
just a minute, Mr. Fabi. Just hang on a minute. We'll come back to you on this. But let's also get the opening comments of Honorable Yusuf on this matter. So, Honorable Yusuf, do you think that these are valid points of concern, as Mr. Fabi has raised?
I agree on some and disagree totally with some. I agree to the fact that the proper would have been to bring it to the NEC and for NEC to look at it before it's made public. But I disagree to the fact that the zoning has generated negative consequences and what have you. Zoning is not casting iron, I agree with him. But that the fact that this is swap position does not in any way. Your opening remark is that maybe presidential ticket will go to South or what have you. That will be a different ballgame. That will be decided at a later stage. And no say it cannot be thrown open. So I don't want us to overmake the issue of this zoning of political party executive position an issue. Let's give credit to the PDP that in under 2 months we are coming up with zoning and we are going for a convention. When we have our counterpart on the other side for almost a year now or 2 years, they are having a caretaker committee on the affair of the party. So these things to me are not as germane as that. What did those who sat down, I'm not privy to that decision. I wasn't there. But I know that they will have looked at a lot of things before they came to that conclusion. Don't forget, it was voting that resulted into that position. And I believe that they will come to the next today to canvass and expose to us why they took those decisions. So I want to appeal that we should not make that an issue that chairmanship is on to the north, what have you. There was a time we had both chairman and president from the same zone. And the party sat down later for a sense of equity and oneness and reject things. So for me, what is important right now is that take a decision that is right. What is the idea now? Swap position. Swap. What does it change? That's my feeling. I don't think there's any...
Yeah. Mr. Fabi, so in consideration of what he's just said, there's no reason for anyone to be overtly concerned about this matter if they've had positions two persons come from certain regions, so it shouldn't really be of huge concern. Why is this particular one generating so much dust since he said, look, that shouldn't be the case?
Chamberlain, thank you. When you have a process as a group or an organization, it's always good to follow the process. We've seen this in the past, how we have come to this point. See, PDP has been able to raise the standard, they've been able to raise the bar, and I don't think they should lower it again. It will not help us, on the long run. I agree with Honorable, Yusuf, that there shouldn't be any brouhaha, out of this. But in politics, it happens. Where it comes from, where it's representing, I'm sure a lot of things, issue of zoning takes place there. And I'm sure that if a decision is made in his constituency that he feels not comfortable, we should be able to talk about it. We shouldn't just brush this away because it concerns our member, it involves our member, critical member of the, of the party. So what I'm saying in essence is that if we have a process, we must be able to follow it, because our inability to failure to follow it can spell doom for the party. This is exactly what I'm saying. Okay, I am a Southwest and I'm from Ogun State, I'm from Southwest. All right, my zone has never produced the national chairman of the party. I was in the party office for 8 years. I knew how most of this thing ran. I've contested for national secretary of the party. I knew how it was run. So what has changed now? Why can't you follow that process and ensure that everybody is carried along? They were talking about inclusion. When people feel you have excluded them in a manner that they don't like, they react. And this is what I'm asking our leadership at the party to look into when taking this decision. Unfortunately, the zoning committee did not take that into consideration. And we shouldn't be deceiving ourselves here. The truth of the matter is that a lot of people are not happy with this. So
are you suggesting that you don't have confidence in the NEC to right every possible wrong that might have been done?
No, I'm not saying that. NEC is the organ that is saddled with this responsibility. I believe them. I believe in them that they can do it. And that's why I'm saying this. There's need for them to be up and doing, to be up and running and consider every side or every divide to this matter. I was telling you something. I'm a South person. I'm from Ogun State, and I'm a stakeholder in this party. Okay? My zone has never produced, the national chairman of the party is there in the public. Now the southeastern people are agitating to produce the president. The way Southwest is saying, give us the chairmanship of the party, and a recommendation came and said, we wait to see what NEC is going to do. We have confidence in the NEC, we have confidence in the leadership of our party, but we wait, to see the decision that they will come up with today.
Well, Honorable Yusuf, there are those who believe that this is what they call a raging tornado, that unless the party leadership, takes a look at it, it will be like literally breathing down the neck of people, irrespective of whatever the issues are. So it just begs the question whether or not there is a sense of inclusion in the thinking of the leadership of the party.
My brother, let me make some clarification. I listened to my brother talking. Southwest have not been chairman of the party. Southwest have been president for 8 years. Between president of the party and party chair, and president of the country, which one is more important? Southwest have not been president of the country. They be chairman of the party, and they still feel marginalized. So let's get this thing right. Who said Southwest cannot be president of Nigeria in 2023? Who is stopping Southwest from contesting? If for now we are zoning chairmanship to the north, I believe that there is merit in it, and it does not stop anybody from the north or south from contesting. It's talking about zoning in my place. Zoning has always been an issue anyway. However, when zoning is done in this manner, that there's no, because the north now will still meet, from North Central. After NEC meeting today, if NEC ratify this position, North Central will meet and zone those positions based on the three zones in the northwest, in the north, northwest, northeast, and north central. So it means that it cascades down, and each zone will now know where they head. Southwest can run for presidency. Southeast can run for presidency. Northwest, northeast. I don't want us to lump these things together. That the fact that Southwest has not been chairman of the party means they've been marginalized. They've been president under this party for 8 years. What can be bigger than that?
You haven't addressed the question that I raised about a sense of inclusion, among the parties, because both of you, for instance, are from the same political party, and the issues are clearly glaring from what you both are arguing.
That is a must. I don't contest that. I believe that at the next meeting today, reasoning will prevail, but I don't want us to come to the public and begin to raise dust. There's no dust. So I believe that the next meeting today, reasoning will prevail. Each side, it is normal in political agitation for different cleavages to have their interest and to feel that if I get it, it's better for me. It is a normal thing. But that something has been done, we now feel that what is done has raised dust. Go to next meeting today. You will see perspective. You will see opinion. That's one thing about PDP. It's robust. It's not a one-man show. Everybody has a say. So at the next meeting today, I have a conviction that what decision that will be taken in the interest of all. Don't forget, in 2015 or 2018, what was it? The last national convention that produced Senator Honorable Uche Secondus as national chairman. Southwest ran, contested for that chairmanship, lost because 1, there was no cohesion. 2, I don't want to mention name, but the leader as at that time of Southwest were not comfortable with having a national chairman. They positioned themselves for vice presidential slot, and they deliberately put the national chairman out of Southwest. Who do we blame for that?
So are you saying with the current trend now, this is essentially perhaps a ploy to push the presidency back to the Southwest, or at least the South?
It is normal that in political agitation, interests will definitely be reasons why you have decision taking. But what I'm saying is that do we at this junction now have reason to be agitated? No. Would the presidency, would this now, because we are zone chairman to the north, we will deny other people from the other zone from contesting presidency? No. But what I'm saying is we should look at how to maximize the benefit to each zone and collectively for Nigeria. What is important is that we must be seen as a party that is ready to be a better alternative to this canker woman, this is kind of thing we're having presently. Nigerians cannot say, they won't take it from us. On the basis of, because chairman did not come to my area, that's why we're going to go into crisis as a party. But I have a conviction that at the next meeting, reasoning will prevail. Every interest will be looked into, and if you cannot get A, you get B. If you cannot get C, that is what PDP is of.
But Honorable, there's only A to Z, so there's only limited positions, or at least slots that people will get. I wonder what happened to people that are not covered in that A to Z arrangement. Perhaps another arrangement will be made. But pardon me, in terms of in terms of packaging now.
Okay,
in terms of packaging the party as a better alternative, I know that all of this is towards the 2023 elections. What for you? You said that you believe reasoning will prevail, as it were. So in what way, for you, do you think the party should package itself in terms of this whole deliberations, north or south? Is it zoning or eligibility or competency, whatever? How do you think the PDP should package itself such that it can be the better alternative you want it to be?
On the party's leadership and what have you,
yes,
I want the zoning committee to give us insights today on what, by privilege, I'm a member of NEC, so I will be there to want to listen to their reasoning and see why they took that decision, rather than saying they've taken the wrong decision. Two, because people are looking, most people are complaining, are not looking at this chairmanship, so they're looking at presidential. And I have a conviction that the presidency should be true. That's why I say should be thrown open to all, so that we will get the best of the best amongst us and offer to Nigerians. So I don't want us to because that's my assumption, I might be wrong, that the agitation and what have you now is focused on zoning of chairmanship affecting where president comes from. And I can give you backlog of when it has happened that they are from the same area, and we came back later to look at it and balance it out. So I have a conviction that the best of the best is what Nigeria desire. That's what Nigeria deserve. We've been, unfortunately, going through the worst kind of governance for in the last 6 years. I'm an economist, and I said about yesterday that we have borrowed more than we have borrowed in 30 years, under 5 years. What we have borrowed in 5 years is double what we borrowed in 30 years before now. So we should be focused on these issues and realize that we must present a robust alternative to Nigerians and genuinely execute those alternatives. Because I will not be partial to those who just want to have power for the sake of having PDP in power. I will regret it if we get to power, we do not deliver. To make Nigerians realize that we did wrong. We assumed wrongly when we voted you out. That is my concern.
Mr. Fabi, first it says, look, if you don't get A, you get B. So are you bent on getting A? And if that's the case, he says, look, left to him, he would like it to be thrown open to all. That's the #1 position. Would that make you happy?
Chimbali, from my conversation, I have not even spoken about where presidency goes or not. I've never said something like that, because as far as I know, the party has said no. The job of this committee was just to talk. I was just to decide on the party elective offices, not even the president. And that aside, I don't even want to go there. Because I understand one fact. Zoning is an internal structure, internal rules of the party. But when it comes to Nigeria, whoever emerges as the president will not be a president of the PDP or president of APC. Or it will be a president of Nigeria. So I don't want to talk about that. But the truth of the matter is that I'm happy that Honorable Yusuf mentioned something, interest. And that's exactly what I'm saying. There are divided interests on this matter. And I'm surprised that he's trying to just brush it aside as if it doesn't matter. To me, it matters a lot. All right? I just said, as a member of this party, I am not happy that at this point in time, my zone that has not had the opportunity of producing the party chairman has been skimmed out. I have right to say that it's an interest. It may not be his own interest. And this is what I'm trying to say. As far as I know, what I want the party to do is to realize that whatever they want to do, all the interest must be considered. and they must take their decision based on, equal balancing. What the zoning, it has become a culture that has helped in fostering equitable, democratic representation and all that. We have to remember this. I'm sure Honorable Yusuf knows this game very much as I do. So we don't have to deceive ourselves. There are issues, and I hope the party will be able to, stand up to it and do that. Now, again, let me say this to our leaders. I don't want us to make one mistake, and the mistake is trying to, give the incoming National Working Committee of the party a very difficult jungle to clear. I want a situation whereby the incoming NWC would have the opportunity to be free of any, at least, all these issues that will make them not concentrate on the bigger picture, which is the election is in 2023. We have to be mindful of this. And this must shape our decision. Don't give these guys things that will make them not concentrate on the bigger picture.
Gentlemen, we're winding down now. So, Mr. Fabi, let me ask you quickly. Are you trying to let us believe that you prefer your region to get the chairmanship as opposed to the #1 slot? Because we know in politics, one step always.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. My zone has produced the president. We have other zones that have not produced the president. We have the southeast, we have the northeast, we have the north central. They haven't produced the president. But when you go this route, what does that mean? Everybody can understand where that.
For some people, that may mean that
my own is that. My zone
for some people, that may mean that if your zone produces the president, you have so many people who will queue up and say, okay, well, if the Southwest has a president, the North should get the presidency.
It's unfair. It's unfair to other zones that have not produced. What, is it bad for my zone to produce the chairman? I'm not saying I don't want my zone to produce the president. But what I'm saying that it's unfair to those other zones that have not produced. So let them give them the chance. If you're talking of equity, if you're talking of fairness, if you're talking of justice, let's give them the opportunity to be able to produce the president. So this is exactly what I'm saying. We don't have a southern Nigeria or a northern Nigeria. It's only, that's why you should be able to fight. You can start fighting.
Right. So I find this quite interesting.
Bringing another Nigeria to come and impose on southern Nigeria.
Pardon me, I find this quite interesting because, you have said that, the president will not be the president of the PDP, for example. He has to be the president of Nigeria. So there's internal party trends. Which region has produced the chairman and the candidates for positions, and there's a general atmosphere in the country. So your position, saying that it should be thrown open, do you think that aligns with the climate right now in the country? Because that will play a major factor in whatever happens with the PDP's bid for presidency. Eventually, you present your candidates to Nigerians to vote. So what you're asking for, do you think that aligns with the current trend and trajectory in the nation right now?
Exactly. I agree with him that the presidency should be thrown open. I agree with that. Do you understand? So, but let the zone that have not produced chairman produce their own chairman. You can still throw it open if it goes there.
Okay, we need to wrap up.
Okay, why did you zone to the north?
Okay, Honorable Yusuf, you maintain your stance, or what do you think?
I have to appeal to my brother that it's not possible to have a political party without cleavages and interest. And it's not possible when the election is coming out to have this kind of agitation. But it will do us good if we allow the process to be concluded. The zoning committee position is not casting iron. Who says that if they get to next meeting today and those who want otherwise prevail? But what will happen to what we are already discussing in this here? So I have to appeal that we should know that this is in process and that I, as a party man, do not doubt the capacity of the party to take the right decision. That's my conclusion.
All right, and so we'll look forward to that. We'll keep our eye on that and see how it plays out. So, Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, member of the House of Representatives, as well as Mr. Dimeji Fabiyi, who is a member of the party and a member of the Edo Governorship Screening Committee. Thank you both for coming on today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.